All right, y'all. So we need to talk about the NBA All Star Game, and I know weird timing. It's the end of March, almost April. Like I know the regular season's almost over. We have like 10 games left for most teams. I'm pretty sure. Um, so it's a little weird timing. But Adam Silver, the NBA's commissioner, who I'm sure you all know, made some comments recently. I think it was like 2 days ago. I think it was 2 3 days ago. But I'm just getting to it. I had other videos and stuff that I had already planned, so I'm just getting to it now. But he made some comments a few days ago, recently, that a lot about the NBA All Star Game that a lot of fans. I don't know. I wouldn't say that they didn't like it. It's just that like it is the reality of the situation, and it is kind of like unfortunate. And it's just like it's alarming, I guess, is what some fans would call it. Not sure that they didn't really like it because he said the truth. To be honest, he said what he believes, and so I wouldn't say they didn't like the comments. It's just they don't like the fact that the comments were accurate, I guess. And so basically, for those of y'all that don't know, that might not be tuned in, that might be more of a casual fan, not really on NBA Twitter or anything. Basically, what he said was the league had looked into making the All Star Game USA versus international, and I'm not 100% sure of what they're going to do with that yet. I don't think they've decided. I could be wrong. I need to go rewatch the whole interview, but I could be wrong. And he said that they were unsure. Well, that he was unsure whether or not the All Star Game could even be saved. He said, like, he accepts responsibility for the way that the All Star Game was, and he said that it was a fun weekend, but it wasn't a basketball game. And for those of you that didn't see the interview, if you want to see the whole thing, look up Adam Silver interview with Charles Barkley and Gail King. You look that up. I'm sure it'll be the first thing to come up. It was literally on like CNN. It was on CNN show a few days ago. And I don't want to play it because I don't want to get copyrighted or anything. Y'all know me; I'm a small creator, not trying to get copyrighted. So, I'm just telling y'all where to find it, so you can see the quotes for yourself, so you can see what he all said. The full, I think it was like a 10-minute interview, something like that. The full in-depth thing, and it formally addresses what a lot of fans and a lot of players have been saying about not just the NBA All Star Game, but the Pro Bowl and football, like and other sports that are like contact sports in the U.S. Really, with the NBA, NFL. They're noticing that All-Star games and Pro Bowl events, the players don't really care. And they're noticing that, like, it's like they don't think there's much they can do. Like, we already know the NFL switched over to flag football, and, like, today as I'm recording this video, they banned the hip drop tackle, and, you know what I'm saying, there are things that a lot of players under the NFLPA made a statement that they aren't happy about it, especially defensive players and stuff like that. But this is an NBA video, so I hate to say this, man, but I kind of agree with Adam Silver. I don't know if you can fix this game. I'm not sure if. I don't know how you get this generation of players to start caring about the All Star game like the Kobe's did, like the Jordans did, LeBron when he was young, Steph when he was young, KD when they were young. Like, I'm not sure you can really get this generation of players to care about it. And I really don't like that. I really hate that we've come to this point where it's like NBA players that are the best in the world are going against the best in the world for a fun event where fans are coming out. It's putting on for whatever city it was in, like Utah or Chicago or India. It was Indiana last year, or this year, I mean, and there was Utah last year. And the last few years, it just hasn't been great. But this year especially, man, it was bad, bro. It was the All-Star game in the NBA this year, dog. Like, I don't think I watched the whole thing. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pretty sure I turned it off after a while. I started seeing, like, it was the worst All-Star game I've ever seen in my life. And to me, the most memorable part of the weekend was Steph versus Sabrina. And that's good for the WNBA. That's good for the NBA too, because if the WNBA starts making money, the NBA is going to make even more. So that's great, right? The NBA funnels a lot of money into the WNBA. So getting players like Sabrina, Caitlin Clark when she goes into the league next year, I'm assuming, Juju Watkins, Angel Reese, getting players like that more marketable on these NBA stages where you have NBA fans watching just to even be interested in them. That's great for the NBA. I love that. I think Adam Silver's done a lot of things that have been phenomenal to not only add attention for the casual fan to the NBA, but to the WNBA. Steph versus Sabrina, like I said, was I think that could not have gone better. You had Sabrina out there putting up one hell of a show, bro. She barely missed, and then you just have the greatest shooter of all time, just proving that he's still the best. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that was a win-win for me, for the WNBA and the NBA. I think Commissioner Silver, that was a genius move. The in-season tournament, it looked great. I was skeptical about it, mostly because I don't think I really understood it in the offseason when they talked about it, when they said that they were going to implement it. But, bro, the in-season tournament, it was so fun. Like, the courts weren't great or everything. I think some of those courts were very ugly, a little too loud, whatever. But I don't really care. The games that we got for that in-season tournament, the Lakers versus, was it Indy? I'm tripping. I feel like it was Indy, but I might be forgetting. But I know Lakers versus Pelicans. The Pelicans didn't have a great game, but it was like the in-season tournament was genuinely fun. Like, we got that little Bucks-Pacers rivalry because of that. Like, that was, and because of some other things too, but that was genuinely a great idea. I think when the numbers come out, if they haven't already come out, you'll see that the NBA gained a lot of money from that tournament, especially like from the casual fan. As a casual fan, I know that a lot of my friends who were casual fans were watching the in-season tournament, at least the final, because they were like, it's the middle of the basketball season, it's December, it's November, it's like the dog days of the NBA season, like, let's watch this, let's see what's going on, and it actually got a lot of viewership, it actually got a lot of attention. The play-in tournament a few years ago, 2021, I think, was the first year. Great idea. I think the play-in tournament was a phenomenal idea. I think it makes these last few weeks of the season so much more interesting when you have teams like Golden State and Houston battling it out, where Golden State's struggling. People are questioning Steve Kerr's rotations, and then you have the Rockets that are on an absolute tear right now. So I love the things that Commissioner Silver has done, but it's like, I don't think there's anything he can do here. And I don't think there's any way for the league to win. And like the last couple of years, it was like, oh, the game's not going to be competitive, but in the fourth quarter, it's going to turn up a little bit because these teams are going to want to win, you know what I'm saying? And especially when it was drafted, and then this year went back to East versus West. And I personally, and a lot of other people, thought the West was going to dominate, and them boys went out there and let the East score 200. So it wasn't great. And like, I miss the few All-Star games before that weren't great. Like, we had Steph Curry drop 50. We had Tatum do some crazy things, I think, in the All-Star game. Like, they weren't great, but they were at least memorable. I remember Steph Curry dropping all those threes, hitting 50-something, and then LeBron hitting the game winner over DeRozan. I remember that. I remember watching that whole game. Because at least, first of all, Steph kept it fun through the beginning, and then in the fourth, it turned up a notch. Like, it was really fun. And it wasn't perfect. Like, you would prefer for it to be competitive throughout the whole game, or at least a little more competitive throughout the whole game, but it was better than what we got this year, dog. This year's was terrible. And I genuinely believe that throughout my life, the NBA has had the best All-Star weekend, the best All-Star event of any professional sport, especially in America, because I don't know about anything else but in America. And this year, more than any other year, it was so carried by the three-point contest, and then that Steph versus Sabrina thing really carried it, because dunk contest has been bad. Like, at least last year we had Mac McClung come out of nowhere and shock the world. This year, we knew it was Mac McClung, you know what I'm saying? Like, we knew who was going to be in there. We had somebody jumping over Kai Cenat in the chair. Like, I think that was Jaylen Brown. Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, we can do something better than this, but it's like, the NBA's got to change something. Maybe, I heard an idea from, I think it was Stephen A. Smith right after the All-Star game, where it's like, maybe you pay professional dunkers from all over the world to come and put on a show, and you pay the winner, or you pay, you know what I'm saying, who comes in first, second, or you pay the finalists. I think that's a good idea, but that doesn't really grow the NBA. I think it would grow the game of basketball, but I'm not sure that would really grow the NBA, especially not after like the first year or two, because it's like, those aren't NBA players. We don't know the people dunking, so that's going to automatically turn off a lot of casual fans. Like, who is this? But then I think it would be good for a few years to do something like that, just to see if it could at least get some interest, maybe get some more views, maybe make it interesting. Because like the thing with the dunk contest is, we have seen almost every dunk that is like humanly possible. So it's not going to get much better. So let's get some of these pro dunkers who practice this every day. The best dunkers in the NBA, John Morant, Anthony Edwards, Zion Williamson, whoever you want to put up there, those guys aren't practicing just dunking every day like a professional dunker would. Those guys have other aspects of their game that matter more to them because they're trying to get paid. They're trying to be great. They're not just trying to be a great dunker. And it's like, I don't know what they can do about that. The three-point contest, I think, there's nothing really that needs to change with that. I think it's good. I think it's the best event. Steph versus Sabrina, I'm sure next year they'll do something similar where maybe it is duos like Steph and Clay or Steph and Dame or something like that. And then versus like maybe Caitlin Clark and Sabrina, maybe. I'm sure they'll do something like that next year. I expect that. And it's just like, I hate that the All-Star Weekend is more known for the Saturday night stuff now, except for the skills challenge. It wasn't good. And the Rising Star game, no one really cares about that either. It's like, it's just carried by that Saturday night, that three-point contest, that Sabrina stuff. Not even the dunk contest anymore, and I hate that. And like I said, it's being seen everywhere. It's being seen in the NFL with the Pro Bowl, and like, I understand where the players are coming from. These players have legitimately seen the way that when you get injured, you're devalued. If you have an injury history, even if it's minor stuff, you're devalued. These teams are not going to be they're not going to be shelling out max money if you have a big injury history. Players are seeing that. Players are seeing that a lot of pro athletes after they retire go broke. Players are seeing that. Players are seeing that like a pro career is not very long for most people. For the average, I think in the NFL, the average career is like 3 years? Like, it's not very long. I don't blame these players for trying to stack up their bread while they can. I don't blame LeBron at 40 years old for saying, if I did some dunk contests and risk getting hurt, maybe I don't play as good as I am right now in year 21. Who's to say? I'm not mad at LeBron for doing that. Sure, would I have loved to have seen LeBron at dunk contest when he was younger, even though I was too young to see it? Like, would I love to see the highlights? Obviously I would. Would I have loved to see Zion? Would I love to see John Morant? Would I love to see Anthony Edwards? Obviously I would. And respect to Jaylen Brown, even though his dunks weren't great. Respect to him for at least being an all-star caliber player that would actually take the risk and do it. I do respect that, but it's like, I can't be mad at the players for not wanting to do these things or not wanting to take the risk of going 100% in every All-Star game or even 90%. I understand why not, because the emphasis has been put on health. If you want your money, you better be able to produce, and you better be able to, the best ability is availability. You better be able to produce, and you better be able to do that most nights. I like the NBA 65 game rule to make these players play, because I think we were going way too far with that resting thing. I like that, right? You know that I had made a whole video about it like last week, like last week. And I understand where the players are coming from. You got to think about it. Kobe Bryant has how many All-Star Game MVPs? Like, the award's named after him. I think he has like 3 or something like that. And I know Kawhi has some. I know Russell Westbrook won. I know Tatum has one or something like that. I know LeBron's one. I think Steph Curry might have one too. From that 50-point year, I'm pretty sure he got that one. So it's like, but who? And when you look at a player's accolades, ain't nobody giving a damn about no damn All-Star Game MVP. Nobody's looking at his accolades and being like, "Ooh, well, Kobe has 3 All-Star Game MVPs. Tim Duncan has. I don't know how many Tim Duncan has, but let's just say, for comparison, it's 3-1." Nobody's saying, "Well, Kobe, if their careers are close, I'm going to put him over Tim Duncan because he has the 3 All-Star Game MVPs, while Tim Duncan only has 1." Don't nobody give a damn. Nobody is talking about that. Nobody cares. The All-Star selection in most accolade talks matters just as much, if not more than an All-Star Game MVP. For me, LeBron has made it how many 18, 19 straight years is more impressive than any however many he could have won unless he won every single All-Star Game MVP. It's so players are saying that fans don't really care about it. They're saying that there's no point of me trying to go out and even get the MVP. I mean the All-Star Game MVP. They're saying that teams aren't going to pay you more if you get it. They're saying that teams are going to pay you less if you risk getting injured in the All-Star Game. It makes the league more money, but it puts these players at a risk of losing money in the long run. So I get where these players are coming from. And the best idea I heard, that I have heard to fix the All-Star Game MVP is incentivize it. Make a pool for the winners team. Make a pool for the MVP, the All-Star Game MVP. And I like that idea, but at the same time, I hate that we've come to that. And it did work with the in-season tournament. When it came to the in-season tournament, paying them the $500K to the winning team, every player, that's a big deal, especially for those guys that are at the bottom of the rotation. So it worked in the in-season tournament, but I hate that we've gotten to the point where we have to incentivize these players to want to play hard when the competition is the highest in the All-Star Game. When you are playing against all of the best, 20-something players in the league, 24 players in the league, let's say it's all the best, barring injury and stuff, it should theoretically be 24 of the best players in the league. You should want to play hard, and I hate the point that we've gotten to, or you have to be paid to play hard, but at the same time, we got to blame the league. We got to blame teams. We got to blame organizations, but at the same time, you can't be mad at organizations for only paying players that play a majority of the games. Like, if I have a superstar that averages 30 and one that averages 27, but one plays 82 games and one plays 40, that 82 games means a lot, especially in the regular season. If he can stay healthy come playoff time, those regular season games mean a lot for seeding and stuff. If you can do that and stay healthy in the playoffs, you're going to get paid more, right? And I respect that. So I see it from both angles. I see it from the fan. I see why the fans are mad, because I'm mad about it. I hate that we've come to this point. I see why the players don't want to play, because if I was a player and I was great, I probably wouldn't want to play 100% either, because there's no reason for them to. They are not incentivized to. Like, yeah, it gives the fans a show, and for some guys that's enough, but once you get older, it's like LeBron puts on a show every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I get why these players aren't wanting to do it, and I personally sympathize with them, and I also understand why teams are gonna pay more money to guys that are more available if they're at the same caliber as other guys. I understand it. So I understand it from all angles, and I'd love to hear what y'all think about this. What are some solutions? Where do we think the All-Star Game is gonna go? Because I don't think it's gonna go away or anything like that, but it's just I don't think there's anything that can do to be fixed besides paying them. I genuinely don't. I haven't heard any other ideas that tell me, oh yeah, I could see it working. But then it's like you have to pay them so much money, I feel like, because, like I said, it's theoretically like the 24 best players in the world. They're already getting bread. So, like, a little bit of money is not going to make them play a little harder. Now, if you want to do it like the in-season tournament where it's $500K to the winning team, and more to the MVP, I respect that. But otherwise, I just don't know how you fix it. I don't think there's anything else you can do. Like I said, I think Adam Silver's done a great job. I don't think his comments were foul in any way. I think they were very accurate. I think that's the part that I hate, though, is the fact that he was so right. But yeah, I'd love to hear how y'all feel about this. Like I said, I see it from all sides. As a fan, I'm upset, but I do understand why the players are doing it. So, and I think the blame comes more on the league than the players. But I'd love to hear how y'all feel about this. Please let me know in the comments down below. And I love y'all, bro. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.